Hello, my name is Bob Smith, and welcome my beautiful, nice-smelling, delicious viewers to this Smash class.
Ooh, Mr. Smith, why did you say delicious?
Yes, Joe, thank you for pointing out the joke. This video will not only teach you the importance of the UN, but also finally give you the answer to the song. The United Nations did not exist until fairly recently. It all started with the League of Nations. The League of Nations, no, not Marvel's League of Legends, that's a different video for a different time. The League of Nations was developed immediately after the end of World War I in 1999 in hopes of preventing another world war. And they did! Oh. Never mind, I was just told they did not. Darn, you give them one task and they can't even come through for you. Anyways, the League consisted of many nations. Argentina, Australia, Belgium, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, China, Colombia, Cuba, Czechoslovakia, Denmark, El Salvador, France, Greece, Guatemala, Haiti, Honduras, India, Italy, Japan, Liberia, Netherlands, New Zealand, Nicaragua, Norway, Panama, Paraguay, Persia, Peru, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Siam, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, South Africa, United Kingdom, Uruguay, Venezuela, Yugoslavia, and of course Canada. But they did not know about Justin Bieber in 1945. If they did, they probably wouldn't let Canada in. If you were paying attention to that list, you may have noticed two things. That the Mongols are finally not involved in something for the first time in history. Woohoo! And the United States is absent from the list. If you notice the second, then I say, you're a star.
Ooh, Mr. Smith, I noticed that.
Really?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The reason the USA is not on the list is because they refused to join the League of Nations. The treaty and covenant for the USA involvement in the League was defeated by a 49-35 vote in the Senate. That is why many people say the League failed.
Okay, so skip a couple years to 1945. Wait, we didn't miss anything, right?
Ooh, you skipped the World War II, the Holocaust, and the Pacific War.
Joe, please stop interrupting my class. Who let this kid into my classroom? Before I was interrupted, I was saying, in 1945, over 50 of the world's nations came to San Francisco for the first United Nations Conference. The goal was to establish a United Nations Charter. 50 countries signed the charter in San Francisco. Someone forgot to invite Poland to San Francisco. Sorry, Poland, you just weren't cool enough. Gotta have that swag. So they were a couple months late to the signing party, but became the 51st member in June. The charter basically gave the structure and the function of the UN. In a way, it's similar to the Constitution. On October 24th, 1945, the UN was officially created. And in 1946, the first General Assembly of the UN was held in London. The first resolution the UN adopted was to limit the use of atomic weapons. Probably smart after they saw the devastation we caused in Japan. That is how the UN began, and they have been solving worldly issues ever since. Well, I mean, they are trying. As we've seen, we still have some major issues going on in the world.
Ooh, Mr. Smith, why do we have these issues? And what are they?
Don't let this get to your head, but good question, Joe.
Yeah, I know it is.
Well, the UN is currently struggling with many popular worldly issues, including terrorism, clean water, food, healthcare, environment, and atomic and nuclear energy. Although we do not see any major differences, the world is slowly improving in all areas, in large part due to the UN. In the past 10 years, 56 countries have reduced HIV infections by 25%. The UN agreed on a treaty basically saying no to nuclear testing in 1996, preventing any further development of nuclear weapons. The UN also developed a Food and Agriculture Agency that is seeing to providing more nutrients to younger kids all over the globe. That all sounds like a pretty bang-up job. Wow, we are awesome. Go us.
Yeah, go us!
Well, not exactly. We still have a lot of issues, and the ones we're working on are not even solved yet. This is where we answer the song, Why Can't We Be Friends? See, with so many conflicts and so many different ways of solving them, it's hard to come to a mutual consensus among all the nations. More conflicts than we get in Spanish class. How are all these nations treated and leveled within the UN? Well, the structure of the UN is very complex.
Yes, as I was saying, the structure of the UN. Alright, I feel like everyone is looking at me, like I'm supposed to be sitting over there in the student's desk. Well, I have something to offer. So, the structure of the UN. First off, there is the General Assembly. All of the countries discussing global peace and security. Next, there is the Security Council, which has the main goal to maintain peace. There are 11 members, and 5 of which are permanent.
Ooh, Mr. Smith, which 5?
Am I always that annoying? Wow. Okay. Anyway, so the 5 were China, Great Britain, the USA, Russia, and France. Why France? I don't know. They seem pretty weak, especially after their great defeat in World War I. Did they even lift? Then there is the Economic and Social Councils. If you can't figure these out, well, you're going to need more than this video. The Trustee Council has the same 5 permanent members as the Security Council, but the job of the Trustee Council is to basically improve the international structure of the trustee nations. Then there is the International Court of Justice, which basically holds all international cases and decides rules for the UN. Finally, there is the Secretariat, basically the dude in charge. Yeah, see guys, I have something to contribute.
Well, we've covered it all, except what the UN has done recently and will cover in the future. The UN is responsible for many different organizations that deal with many current issues. For example, Security Council has made over 2,000 resolutions to many of the various problems in the world, including the Anti-Terrorist Agency after the 9/11 attack. That's what is great about the UN. We see the world needs help and we pull our resources together to make it happen. As for any other future plans, we can be sure that the UN will always be there to the best of their ability when there is any distress. But as you will see now, it is not always easy to run the UN. Thanks for tuning in, my students. Puntos positivos for all. I'm out. Catch you on the flip side, homies.